the state of Maine's Atlantic coast. From high above the easternmost point in the United States, to rocky inlets down east, to the city of Portland and endless beaches beyond. A wooden boat tradition that continues to thrive.
Nothing makes you more proud than sailing something that you actually made.
A down east marine recreation trail.
When you get there, you will have a sense of solitude and a sense that you can explore this tiny planet.
And one Maine town welcomes an historic ally.
It's quite a historical moment for this to happen here.
Now, 50,000 kilometers of eastern coastline are revealed from above. An aerial journey over America's rugged Atlantic frontier. This is America Over the Edge. From high above America's Atlantic coast, Quoddy Head State Park marks the northern limits of the Maine shoreline and the beginning of the United States eastern seaboard. Quoddy Head State Park is located on a remote peninsula featuring 500 acres of pristine wilderness. It is surrounded by jagged rock cliffs that from above offer an amazing perspective on navigating and exploring these waters. And at the heart of the park, West Quoddy Head Light stands as an iconic landmark. Not only for its candy-striped design, or for braving Atlantic storm surges for more than 150 years. West Quoddy Head Light marks the easternmost point of land in the United States. More than 500 kilometers east of New York City, and more than 1,000 kilometers east of Miami. Ten kilometers to the north, tracing the U.S.-Canada marine boundary, America's easternmost lighthouse meets the nation's easternmost city. Eastport, located on Moose Island, has been home to Passamaquoddy Native Americans for more than 12,000 years. From above, the islands of Canada seem just a stone's throw away. It's no surprise that Eastport has changed hands twice, from American to British control during the American Revolution and the War of 1812. And just south of Eastport, Lubec is the easternmost town in America. A modern example of life on the edge. Lubec, built on American soil, is linked to Campobello Island via the Franklin Delano Roosevelt Bridge. But Campobello Island is part of Canada, with no road access to the north. Canadians must travel here by boat or pass through mainland Maine to Lubec. By the 1880s, Campobello Island had become a getaway for wealthy Canadian and American landowners, including a New York couple named Sarah Delano and James Roosevelt Sr. Their son, the future President Franklin D. Roosevelt, would spend his summers here until 1939. From above, Campobello Island reveals the close and intertwined nature of these two great nations. Moving to the southwest, beyond the seaside communities of Cutler, Machias, and Beals, another lighthouse has guarded the Maine coast for well over a century. The Egg Rock Lighthouse took its name from an abundance of seabird nests observed by 18th century seafarers. The tower rises 12 meters, and its light has been guiding mariners to the inland waterway known as Frenchman Bay since 1875. Frenchman Bay is roughly 25 kilometers long and 10 kilometers wide, named in honor of French explorer Samuel de Champlain, one of the first Europeans to explore these waters. Frenchman Bay is also in the heart of an area known as Down East Maine, a term originated by Boston sailors who would travel downwind and east to reach this stretch of coast. These waters are home to some of the richest fishing grounds on the eastern seaboard and are world famous for their lobster. The bay is also home to world-famous Bar Harbor, Maine, a seaside town located on Mount Desert Island. It is home to just over 5,000 people, and it's a gateway to adventure. In addition to fishing, the waters here are a haven for all types of watercraft. For kayakers exploring these waters, for tourists traveling up and down the eastern seaboard in style, and for one of Maine's signature modes of transportation, the wooden boat. It is one of the world's oldest traditions, one that Maine has adopted and built on, and a legacy that continues to thrive at the nearby Wooden Boat School in Brooklyn, Maine.
A number of traditional boats have been built here over these past couple hundred years. Schooners, of course, for moving commerce throughout New England, all the way down the Atlantic seaboard and over to Europe. Various types of fishing boats, dories, which eventually evolved into sailing craft that are used for workboats, and then that eventually evolved into lobster boats, so on and so forth. So, boy, an infinite number of boat designs have started out here in Maine. Wooden Boat School was begun 35 years ago with the sole purpose of keeping the tradition alive.
Now, decades after it opened its doors, Brooklyn's Wooden Boat School teaches 100 courses every season. From this incredible shop complex, Rich Hilsinger oversees students learning spar making, marine painting and vernishing, even remote-controlled wooden pond yachts. The courses attract enthusiasts from all over the world. Some, like Casey Blust and his daughter Becca, have been here before.
I always wanted to build a boat, and then someone introduced me to a wooden boat, and I thought I would take their introductory course in boat building, and took that a couple years ago with my daughter Becca, and she's quite a talented craftsman, not to mention artist.
This summer, they're building a wooden boat known as a Caledonia yawl, with an even greater goal in mind.
Right now I'm making the tiller for the boat that we're putting together, which is the Caledonia yawl. This is the tiller to the boat. This is actually not the prettiest end. The fancy end is on that side, but I finished it already. So this is the part that's gonna hook to the rudder, and it's a push and pull tiller, so you don't go side to side with this one. It's made of spruce, which is strong and light. It's fairly flexible.
The idea behind making a Caledonia yawl was perhaps one day to put it in the water in Champlain and around Burlington, which is our home state, and to go south and end up in the Hudson River, go through the canal and the lock system that's there, and then to end up in New York City, perhaps, take it out. If we get brave enough, maybe we'll a little bit further down in Long Island Sound, or perhaps in Cape Cod or something like that. But that's still a little ways away. Got to get the boat built first.
While boat technology has evolved over the years, many Mainers still use wooden boats on a daily basis for work, pleasure, and transportation. That means what Rich Hilsinger teaches is more than just a novelty. It's ingrained in the local culture.
I think what brings people back to wooden boats is, I mean, there's a lot of charm to take something that's alive and to shape it into something that you can use, that's useful. But it also comes with a lot of history.
Boats are pretty amazing and fairly timeless way of travel. So when there's a point of pride that there was a time when it took lifetimes and generations to make boats, and now it's just like a hobby. Unfortunately, it's kind of an expensive hobby because there's a lot of cheaper ways to travel, but there's really nothing that makes you more proud than sailing something that you actually made through something as intense as the ocean. So I think that's a pretty good reason why it's captivating.
Just outside Bar Harbor, the shoreline of Mount Desert Island is a scenic wonder. From high above, the mist shrouding the island stretches for kilometers, and it's clear much of the island, like its name, is indeed deserted. But hidden among the island's trees and rock cliff ledges sit some of the East Coast's most elaborate summer homes and mansions. These residences date back to the time of John D. Rockefeller Jr., who developed a system of carriage trails through the area. Generations of wealthy Americans have enjoyed these views and vistas ever since. Mount Desert Island is also home to large tracts of protected area. The hills and waterways of the island and the lands surrounding are all part of Acadia National Park. Acadia National Park features mountains, woodlands, and lakes, and measures more than 47,000 acres. Its incredible and diverse landscape was even recorded by Samuel de Champlain 4 centuries ago. Centuries later, from above, it is amazing that such a vast and seemingly never-ending tract of land can continue to exist along America's eastern seaboard. "35 kilometers to the west, another Maine inland waterway appears on the horizon. It is Penobscot Bay, named for the Penobscot Native Americans who have resided here for more than 10,000 years. And the bay is fed by the waters of the Penobscot River, a waterway steeped in history, and a corridor to the vast Maine interior. Today, the river is home to historic and engineering marvels. The Penobscot Narrows Bridge is more than 600 meters long, rising more than 100 meters in the air. Its construction features high-tech carbon fiber strands with no anchorages in the bridge pylons, making it the first of its kind. And high above, the bridge is home to an observation tower, higher than the Statue of Liberty. From here, the scope of this construction project can truly be experienced, along with an appreciation of the harsh and rugged landscape the earliest residents here were faced with. And far below, with dusk settling on Penobscot Bay, Maine's Fort Knox offers a strategic viewpoint out to sea. Built 20 years before Kentucky's Fort Knox, this coastal granite fortification was constructed to protect a different kind of treasure: Maine's rugged northern coast, following British attacks during the American Revolution and the War of 1812. Further south, into the wider waters of Penobscot Bay, the region's history truly comes alive. Like Fort Knox, the town of Castine held a strategic position for British and American forces centuries ago. And today, it is set to relive a part of that history.
Castine, I see as the southern end of the part of the New World that was inhabited by the French. On the other hand, you've got the northern edge of the British-dominated area.
It was more of strategic importance than you might think from the rather small number of Europeans who were here during that period of time. First of all, it is a deepwater port, one of the deepest on the East Coast, and it is, at least as a natural port, it was the deepest between Boston and Halifax. Secondly, it provides a route into the interior, which was valuable for the timber and the ship masts that were being taken out by the British. It also was an avenue for trading with the Native Americans in the area, and the French were particularly interested in the furs that the Native Americans provided.
And during the American Revolution, Castine was the site of a near disaster known as the Penobscot expedition.
Well, going up through the 17th century and up to at least the Revolutionary War, this part of the world was the Wild East. There were a lot of battles. The Penobscot expedition of 1779 is often thought of as the second worst naval disaster in the history of the United States after Pearl Harbor. The whole incident began when the British, acting out of Halifax, thought it was important to take this peninsula as a strategic position. It sent an expedition down which landed unopposed and began constructing Fort George on the heights of the peninsula overlooking the harbor. Colonial troops tried to dislodge them. Not only did they fail to do that, but a huge number of ships were lost as they ran aground and had to be burned in order to prevent them from falling into British hands. Almost all of the ships were lost, and most of the sailors ended up walking home.
But while Americans were suffering losses to the British, they were also making allies. Today, symbols of France line the streets of Castine as the town awaits the arrival of a replica ship that brought a French general to America, helping to turn the tide in the American Revolution.
What we're celebrating today is the arrival of the French ship Hermione in 1780, which brought Lafayette from France here to deliver the news that the French would be giving more aid to the colonials in their fight against the British. Not only did they supply a great deal of financial help, but they also supplied troops.
Down on Castine's waterfront, Randy Stearns is one of many working tirelessly to prepare for the arrival of the ship that brought General Lafayette.
I'm the Castine Fire Chief, and today we got the French frigate that's coming into town, and we're expected to have up to 5,000 plus people, and we're semi-prepared and not really prepared. We're making the best of it. So let's get ready to rock and roll. Everybody's ready. We got the crew. Let's go.
Stearns is leading a small boat out to meet the parade of sail. On board are members of the Hermione's logistics team and a few local residents excited for the opportunity of a lifetime.
Castine should be seen by the sea. It really is more beautiful by the sea than anything else. It is a great day for our community. This town is very small. You know, in the wintertime, we got 300, 400 people. In the summertime, we go to a few thousand. We're pretty lucky to have it here. It's quite a historical moment for this to happen here for us. And a lot of people have worked hard to make this happen.
Just offshore, the parade of sail comes into view.
What you guys are seeing right now, coming over the port of the bow, is the Victory Chimes, three-masted schooner. This originated in Castine. It was her home berth for almost 40 years.
And then the silhouette of the Hermione appears.
Oh, she's under sail! All right! Very good. I want to see that. Yes! Look at that. That is just like...
Randy Stearns will approach the Hermione to give its shore crew a chance to see their boat up close and in person, and then lead the Hermione to shore. As the bay narrows, the parade of sail must adjust accordingly.
Because it reaches here, everybody is supposed to break off of her. When it hits the bell, all these other boats are supposed to break off. Yeah. No. We're kind of worried about that low tide, that she won't hit the bottom, and draft meaning how well she sits in the water and how low it is. And we've got the dock and how the vessel's going to come onto the dock. She's going to swing in, bow all the way in, and go all the way into the MMA basin, and then we're going to tie it off at different positions. Welcome to Castine! It's awesome. It's totally awesome. Hey, being this close, hey, we got lucky. I mean, look at the crew, guys. You're like, look at that. Look where everybody else is. We're inside.
With a good view had by all, Stearns will circle the Hermione and then lead it to shore.
Okay, one time by. Look at that. Look at him way up in the crow's nest, way up top. He's crow's nest way up there, baby.
Finally, the parade of sail heads for Castine. Stearns' crew relaxes, while the Hermione prepares to impress the thousands of residents and visitors that will come out today.
32 cannons. It's all 32. They're doing it. Everybody got a great shot. Everybody enjoyed it. It's my thrill. You made my day. Thank you. Both of you, really much.
You bring the boat.
Yeah, you know.
We can also do our job. So.
I got to go back to work now. I wish they'd leave me alone. All right, Joey, smoke her in. I want to get, we got the lines. Everyone's watching, get the lines tied up. Everybody got to sit down or brace yourself.
On shore, the crowds have already gathered, and the weary crew appreciates it, recalling their country's role in a new world revolution centuries ago.
I'm the superintendent of the ship, and we are very happy to have come to Castine today. The Hermione is the French frigate that has carried the Marquis de Lafayette with a message from the King of France to George Washington announcing the full support to the American Revolution and announcing the arrival of 5,000 troops.
Now, on the last American stop of their East Coast tour, Gravellier reveals the incredible process that brought them here today.
It took altogether 22 years since the association was set, and 17 years on actual building. Hull is an oak, and everything worked very, very, very fine. And the ship is definitely up to the standard that is described in the former captain's logbook. Say that it was definitely the very best series of ships that the French Navy ever built.
It is a special day for the town of Castine, and a special day for this French crew.
This is the Bastille Day, as the Americans say. We just mentioned the date. In France, we say this is the 14 Juillet, and this is the French National Day. We had the pleasure and honor to be in New York for the 4th of July. We paraded on the Hudson and paid tribute to Lady Liberty, and we're very, very proud and honored to do this. And today we're also very, very proud to have had that so warm welcome from the population of Castine. This is an adventure where I'm absolutely thrilled to participate.
The state of Maine boasts the longest Atlantic coastline of any eastern state. And while this shoreline is known all over North America for its stark beauty, the state's interior is also a sight to behold. High in the sky, Moosehorn National Wildlife Reserve and Petite Manan National Wildlife Reserve extend for kilometers. It is a testament to the beauty of Maine's northern region, boasting tracts of unexplored land unlike anything on the East Coast. And in the months of September and October, these deciduous forests burst forth with color. Back to the coast, and 100 kilometers southwest of Castine, Fort Popham State Historic Site lies on Maine's southern shoreline, at the mouth of the Kennebec River. Fort Popham was built as a coastal defense system during the American Civil War. A semicircular granite stronghold that was never fully completed. The fortification was also used during the Spanish-American War and even World War I. Experts believe the modern-day fort was built on the site of an older wooden fortification used to defend residents of the Kennebec region as far back as the American Revolution. But civilization here stretches back even further. Heading inland along the Kennebec River, these calm waters have been a lifeblood for Native Americans for thousands of years. The word Kennebec comes from the Eastern Abenaki language, meaning large body of still water. The river extends 270 kilometers inland to Moosehead Lake, deep in the Maine interior. And 20 kilometers from the mouth of the river, the legacy of coastal defense lives on just outside the city of Bath, at the Bath Iron Works. The Bath Iron Works is one of the most famous shipbuilding hubs in the world, assembling more than 500 vessels since 1890. And today, looking down at the facility, it is a rare chance to see a project unlike anything seen before. In just 60 days, the USS Zumwalt will begin sea trials, with its stealth design making it nearly undetectable. The Zumwalt measures 180 meters and weighs 15,000 tons. The largest warship in U.S. history, with a price tag of $4.4 billion. Just west of the Kennebec River, Maine's southern shoreline leads to civilization. The city of Portland is the largest city in the state. With a metropolitan area home to 500,000 people. Once a fishing and transportation hub, Portland has grown into a modern city. Its streets lined with restaurants, a vibrant art scene, and a port that continues to connect the city with the world. But even here, in the heart of Maine's largest urban area, pristine wilderness is not far away. The Maine Island Trail became the first marine recreation area of its kind when it was established decades ago. It guarantees residents here a gateway to nature. All you need is a boat.
So the Maine Island Trail is a water trail for recreational boaters of all kinds, whether it's kayakers or sailors or power boaters. And it runs the entire length of the coast of Maine. It's about 375 miles from the New Hampshire border all the way up to Cobscook Bay and the Canadian border. The Maine Island Trail Association was started in 1987 by a group of small boaters who had this idea that there would be a great waterway for small boats, as they called it. These days you call that a water trail, but in 1987 that term didn't exist. And now, according to the American Canoe Association, there are over 500 water trails in North America. So it's an idea that has caught on, and we are told that we were the first one to get going in the late 80s.
The Maine Island Trail features a mix of publicly owned land and private land, whose owners support the goals of the organization. It was an idea that began with just 30 islands years ago. Now it boasts more than 200.
Well, it was a radical idea in 1987 that a group of people could make the offer that if they were allowed on shore these places, that they would take better care of the islands themselves than they would be if left on their own. And that's basically the deal. It's a handshake deal with our membership and with the island owner, that if the island owner allows the people to come ashore and take care of the place, that the island will be in better shape than it would have been otherwise. As you traverse the Maine Island Trail in your boat, you will be seeing a wide variety of cliffs and other spectacular geology, and then forests that are sort of the typical island experience in Maine. In Maine, you basically can almost not go anywhere on the coast without being able to see an island offshore, and that's really what composes the trail itself.
The trail is largely run by volunteers, monitor skippers, island adopters, and cleanup teams that work thousands of hours each year. Now Doug Welch heads offshore to reveal the beauty of the trail.
So there aren't many places where you can easily go out and find a sense of remoteness and connection to the earth. And this is one of those places where you really can. The islands themselves are remote and they are protected by the North Atlantic Sea. And so when you get there, you will have a sense of solitude and a sense that you can explore this tiny planet. So this is an example of a remote coastal island, of which there are so many in Maine. A typical sort of view that you would see, and it's just nothing but gorgeous. On this part of the shore, you'll see deciduous trees as you do here. Further up the coast, you'll see pine and spruce will be the dominant plant type. It's sometimes hard for people who haven't been to Maine to imagine how many islands there are, but there are literally thousands of them along the coast, and it really just depends on how do you define an island. Does it have to be there at all tides? Does it have to have a tree on it? People measure them different ways, but they're all islands and they're all fabulous. The idea is that you come to an island like this that you know you're welcome on, and you go ashore and you either stay for the day or the night, whichever you're interested in doing.
In addition to stunning nature, the Maine Island Trail also conceals symbols of Maine's coastal history.
So we're out on Casco Bay and we're looking at some of the Calendar Islands. The Calendar Islands are named because there was supposedly one for every day of the year, which actually is not technically true. There aren't quite that many, but made a good story. But the one in the background here is Fort Gorges. This is a Civil War fort that is named after Fernando Gorges, who was actually one of the proprietors of the state of Maine.
Fort Gorges is located on Hog Island Ledge, with its granite walls lining the perimeter of the island and seemingly rising from the sea. The fort was proposed by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in the years following the War of 1812. But construction didn't begin until the 1850s, in the lead-up to the Civil War. Today, it has become a recreation destination.
Fort Gorges is owned by the city of Portland. It's one of the 212 sites on the Maine Island Trail. You can visit it, you can go ashore, and it's really a spectacular place to explore, especially with kids. There are lots of spooky tunnels and gun emplacements and that sort of thing.
Finally, back to the city, Doug Welch says there is one Portland attraction that can't be missed, and it is best seen from the sea.
So we're heading back into Portland Harbor now, but no trip into Portland would be complete without stopping at Portland Head Light. This is a real icon and a very common visitor stop along the coast of Maine. We're in Cape Elizabeth, heading into Portland, and the main shipping channel is here that the Nova Star ferry comes in right now. And back in the day, it was tall ships coming through here, and in fact, the light was put here by George Washington as a means of securing their safe passage into the city. I've been visiting the coast of Maine since I was a little kid. Every summer we would come here, and the very earliest images of joyful experience for me were clambering over rocks and exploring tide pools and that sort of thing. So it means a great deal to me personally, and I'm really lucky to have a job that allows me to continue to enjoy that area of my life.
Just south of the city of Portland, the Maine coastline changes dramatically. Vast tracts of forest and soaring cliff faces are replaced by endless sandy beaches. Old Orchard Beach has been a Maine vacation destination for generations. Located on Saco Bay, the beach extends 11 kilometers to the south. And beyond the beach, another Maine landmark lies on the horizon. Kennebunkport is home to just over 3,400 people. But one of them may be Maine's most famous resident. Here at the end of Walker's Point, security is constantly on alert, and planes are forbidden from flying overhead. Like Campobello Island at the northern edge of the state where President Franklin Roosevelt once lived, the Walker's Point estate is the summer residence for President George H.W. Bush. It has been called the Summer White House and has hosted gatherings with leaders from around the world, including Margaret Thatcher and Mikhail Gorbachev. Finally, south of Kennebunkport, the southern boundary of Maine is in sight. Just beyond York Cliffs, the Cape Nettic Lighthouse, also known as Nubble Light, has been guiding mariners since 1879, when another president, President Rutherford B. Hayes, allocated $15,000 for the construction of a light on this nub of land. The tower itself is built from brick and cast iron and rises 27 meters above the sea, just a few kilometers from Maine's southern boundary with the state of New Hampshire. From the easternmost extremity of the American Atlantic coast, to the jagged islands and calm waterways of the Maine Island Trail, to the beaches of the state's southern coast. The Maine marine boundary is a wilderness wonder, unlike anything along the busy eastern seaboard. From above, Maine's mountains, rolling hills, and incredible fall colors can be seen in a way early explorers could only dream of. Its rivers and coastal resources reveal human habitats dating back hundreds of generations. And it is a place where traditions of the past can be seen embraced by residents looking to the future. Here, on the edge of America,